Welcome back to Slaying the Backlog. If you haven't seen an episode of this series, this is where we talk about a game that was in my backlog that I missed for one reason or another. We've done Dragon's Dogma, we've done Metal Gear Solid, the first one, and we've done Limbo so far. Today we're doing Ori and the Blind Forest. Ori and the Blind Forest was developed by a team called Moon Studios, released on Xbox in 2015, and then later in 2019 it came to Switch. It's a platforming Metroidvania, which basically means, for anyone who doesn't know, it's a game where you go throughout the map and then you unlock new abilities that let you get other parts of the map that then unlock new abilities. And essentially the gameplay loop for this entire game is you go to an area, get a new ability that helps your movement or traversal or whatever. Those are synonyms. You go to a new area and you get an ability that helps your movement, and then that unlocks new parts of that area. And then there's I'm going to call it a temple because I don't know what else to call it, in each area. And when you go to the temple, you use that ability to get through the temple, and then inside the temple you usually unlock a new ability or two that you have to use at the end of the temple to get out. Immediately when you start Ori, you are captivated by the beautiful visuals in this game, and the music is also incredible. But then as you play, like, you get started and you're like, oh, it looks really good. But then as you play, you get sucked into the mechanics of the abilities and the different things that you unlock as you go. And it's got a little bit of an emotional story too, which helps pull you through. But for me, it was really the abilities. Every time I got a new ability, I'm like, oh, Ori's 10 times cooler now. And that's true for almost every ability. You start the game, you can't double jump, and after you get the ability to climb up walls, and then you get the ability to double jump, and then eventually you get the ability to, like a slingshot almost. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, when an enemy attack's coming at you, you can launch off the attack, or you can launch off the actual enemies. And that's really where Ori shines. It's got, collectibles like extra life, extra ability, energy. But where Ori really shines is that just those abilities. They're just so good. All right, so why is Ori on my backlog? I was primarily an Xbox One player, as we discussed, I think, in the very first video, the Dragon's Dogma one. So Ori was on my backlog because it was a Xbox exclusive at the time. I didn't get around to playing it for whatever reason, but then my wife now, she started playing it when we were dating, and she loved the game. Like, really, just, she holds it up as one of her favorite, I think, of all time. Kind of like Limbo, where just really, really engrossed her. And so I think it's the little cute Ori guy, and then there's a little bit of emotional story. And I know she likes 2D games, so yeah. So it was always something I wanted to get back to, so I could share that with her, enjoying this game. And so now we've finally done it, and Ori is a really good game, and I'm glad I played it. So just to review the gameplay, I know I talked about it a lot there a second ago, but reviewing the gameplay, basically, the movement is really fluid. The game has a lot of challenging moments. You die a lot. Ori was challenging. There were parts of Ori that were very challenging. Your combat skills get really strong as you're going. You get these new abilities. There's also a skill tree where you can upgrade abilities. I don't think I have any good skill tree footage, because the footage I used was my second playthrough of the game, where I was trying to beat it in under 3 hours with no ability points spent. So, I was hunting them achievements. Ori also, like Limbo before, has an achievement for beating the entire game, but like with a limited number of deaths, but this one is 0 deaths. So that's the only achievements I don't currently have. Ori gameplay, like I said, there's a loop where you go and get abilities. You go through these temples. I don't know what else to call them. It's a good game. The abilities are really sick. All right, so the story of Ori, I'm gonna try to keep this as brief as possible, because I don't really want to hop in and spoil anything. Because if you haven't played Ori, you should play Ori. So basically, Ori is a tree spirit, small little tree spirit guy. You see him in the video. He's the little white dude that you play as. He's broken off from the main tree spirit, and then the main tree spirit loses its light entirely. There's an owl who's the antagonist, who is a great antagonist. because anytime you get into an encounter with the owl, it's an instant kill if he hits you. So that really puts the pressure on in the areas he's in, and it's really menacing. And then after a while, it's revealed. There's some things that are revealed about the owl and why he is the way he is that are gives him an emotional turn. So the story basically is you go into the temples, as I mentioned, and you have to restore parts of the forest. So like, I think the first one might be the clean water, and then the second one is the airflow, and then there's one that's the warmth, and I think that's it. The warmth is really fire. It's a mountain. But then, once you get everything, the idea is that you want to get the forest to a state of where it's thriving and return to its original form before the tree spirit lost its light. But it's good. There's love, there's loss. There's a lot to the story. Really, it's a good story. All right, visuals and the soundtrack I've mentioned already, but it really can't be understated. This game is gorgeous, beautiful. The design's incredible. Have some gameplay here that will showcase. I'll try to do like a montage or something that'll showcase so you can see for yourself how good the game really looks. There's these great looking static backgrounds, and then the game elements are layered on top of those. It's got a very unique art style, which I think looks amazing. The soundtrack, maybe I'll layer some of the opening theme above this, because the soundtrack of this game is beautiful. The music's incredible. I'd be willing to say the opening theme is almost iconic already. I've played the game 2 or 3 times now. The music that plays behind the key moments of the game add to the overall effect of those moments. And on top of that, the sound design of the world is amazing. You can feel object movements and enemies. Everything is really good through the sound design. Final thoughts. I think Ori is worth your time if you haven't played it. If you have played it, I'd love to hear what you think about it. Metroidvania style games have never really been my style, but after playing Ori, I'm like, oh, I get this. Like, when the abilities you unlock are really cool and really like feel good in the world to play, you really give a new appreciation for that style of gameplay. The game takes 7 or 8 hours probably on your main playthrough, like your first time if you're playing on normal. If you go to collect all the things, I think my first playthrough was like 9.5 hours, so that was every collectible. There's 2 power-ups that are added in the definitive edition of the game. There's a whole dark area at the bottom of the map. You don't have to check it out, but in that dark area, there's a dash ability, which is like one of the coolest abilities in the game. There's also an ability where you like lob attacks at enemies, and that unlocks some of the collectibles. So if you're doing it all, you have to go there. All in all, Ori was a great game, and I appreciate the Metroidvania more, the genre as a whole more after playing Ori. Is Ori a game that's in your personal backlog? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review of playing Ori, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Your support will keep this series going. I know I'm always eager to hear from people in the comments, and I try to respond to every comment. And I'd love for people to drop comments about what the next game we should play is in Slaying the Backlog. If there's a hidden gem or a classic title that you think I might have missed or you'd like to see reviewed, let's check it out together, and then I can do a good little review of it. And that's it. So for now, peace out. And as always, be excellent to each other.